Welcome back to another video, guys. Still here in Cronulla. Hope you guys aren't getting sick of it yet, but we're back to the jobs. We are getting through them though. You'll be happy to know that. I'm very happy to tell you that and to know that myself. This is sort of the last big one, to be honest. I guess, you know, you guys that own boats know that the jobs are never done. But in terms of buying a new boat and fitting it out how you want it to go offshore, we are sort of getting there. So yeah, I'll give you a quick rundown of what's going on in this video. So this is our salon. As you can see, it's a lot bigger than Schiehallion, but you'll probably also notice that it doesn't look very like a normal salon in a catamaran or a boat. I'll tell you why. Previous owners of Trade Runner, it's called Kindara then, were apparently Japanese, and they like to sit on the floor at this little table. And that was what they had in there. And then Trade Runner owners, Chris, put these just garden chairs in, garden furniture. And that's sort of how it stayed for, yeah, I don't know, at least 10 years. And we've had it like this for a couple of months now, and we're sort of sick of it. For Marie, it's alright. She can sit down on the floor there, cross her legs up, and yes, eat like Japanese do at the table. I've had 3 knee reconstructions. I'm not really able to bend my knees that much, so I sit on the chair here and balance my plate on my knees, and yeah, it's not ideal. So the idea is to fiberglass in a settee that goes around the corner and a table that'll go up and down, and make then a double bed for when we're on passage, we're able to sleep up here. That's the basic idea. So first I'm going to get all the stuff out, take the carpet out down to bare fiberglass, and then start sort of measuring out what the possibilities are, how high it needs to be, what we're going to do, and just sort of laying it out and getting a picture of what we can achieve in this space, because it's pretty cool just having this open space to do what we want. Well, there you go. As you can see, she's all emptied out now, and as you can see, it's quite a big space. That's about 4 meters long and 2 meters deep here. So yeah, we've got oodles. I would like to keep half of it as an empty space, as I said, just with some carpet and some bean bags that we could clear out and do yoga or stretching on. You know, just have an open space. It's quite nice. We have quite enjoyed it like this, just not the eating part. And then from the middle here, there is room to sit 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6. So that would work quite good if there was a table here. It's just a matter of fiberglassing in a couch here over around there. That would be the goal. That would be what I want to do. The only thing I have to work out is how high to go, because obviously in the front of the boat here it slopes down for aerodynamic reasons, and we won't want to be sitting too high. We'll obviously be sitting out a little bit, so that'll be okay. I probably won't choose to sit here. I'll probably choose to sit at the other side, but smaller people will be fine here, and that height's about right. Okay, well, using this table, and this is the table we're going to use as a rough guide, I've sort of marked out, well, we've got an idea now of how big we want this to be. I'm not really that good at all this furniture making joinery stuff, but I think the general floor plan is about right. So let's say 65. That's a pretty good number. Do I stand on that, babe? There you go. Whew, that wears the old pencil down pretty quick. Well, let's just make that 55. We've got the outline here where we're going to be. I've pulled this stuff off the wall. It looks really nice actually, but it's just plywood. As you can see, just plywood. Yeah, time to pile all this stuff back inside, because chances are if I leave it out there it'll bloody rain. Anyway, Marie's cooking dinner. We'll go and see what she's up to.
So I'm preparing the dinner. I'm gonna do some fried noodles, a bit of Asian food, because we didn't eat that for quite a long time.
And we haven't eaten many vegetables lately, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we need. That's
Yeah.
gonna be good to have that. Yeah, just cutting the carrots and the cabbage and everything, and we're gonna have a good meal for the night, for recover for all your effort when you were working, because I had a little nap this afternoon. I was not really involved in the thing.
A little bit. One of the other jobs I got done today was this fridge here. So it's been sort of cycling ever since we've had the boat. It'll sort of run 3 or 4 times, but it won't ever sort of get going. It'll just speed right up and then it'll cut off like it's got too much power or something. But it always started eventually. It'd normally do about 3 or 4 goes, just a bit of a warm-up, bit of a stretch, and then it would get going. But it was sort of annoying because every time it stopped and started, it would make a big clunk. And also annoying as in it's probably using double as much power for the amount of cooling it's doing, because it's just doing all these warm-ups and running for 2 minutes and then not actually doing any cooling. So I sort of googled it and looked and found out it was more than likely it was just a voltage problem. So I took it out and measured the voltage and everything. Probably should have showed you guys this, but I'm terrible at that sort of stuff. Anyway, I measured the voltage. It was getting enough, but when it started up it was just going up and down in voltage a bit. So what I did is just took every single connection off it, took the electronic box off it, sprayed it all with terminal cleaner, which is just like an acid that power washes the electrical terminals, cleaned it all up with a toothbrush, cleaned it all out, put it all back together, boom, she's running fine. We can't even hear it anymore. It seems to run much quieter, and it just sort of starts up slowly, and then it's going, and then it just turns off. So big win there, real big win.
Like, he doesn't say because he's humble, but he's super proud because electrical things are the things he doesn't like at all. So when it's working for the first time, he's super happy.
Yeah, I'm very happy. And also another thing I did, I actually had 2 electronic wins today, which is a freaking record, without that much swearing even. And you'll attest to that, right? Not much swearing.
A little bit of swearing.
A little bit of swearing, but way less than normal. I actually had another win. I'll show you over here. We use the inverter a lot to charge laptops, cameras, drones, electric scooter, electric outboard, e-propulsion outboard, and normally we'd use it more, but we didn't have enough solar power, so we were really like, when we went ashore, we'd make sure we took our laptops and charged them, and we were really on ration mode. But now we've got heaps of power, I want to use the inverter more. So the boat came with this. It's just a Dick Smith 300 watt true sine wave. But it had a sticker on it somewhere, 2004, so pretty old, and not very efficient, and the fan stays on all the time. It's just like, whirr. So obviously it uses heaps of power and it's bloody noisy. So I finally got around to getting a better inverter. I ordered a Renogy 1000 watt. It's not massive still, but it's way more than enough to charge 2 laptops and the electric outboard at the same time, whereas this thing would just beep when it got to, like, we'd have to charge 1 laptop and maybe a camera at the same time, but not 2 big things. It would just beep and turn off. So I managed to get that inside here, in behind this panel. I won't take it off to show you, but yeah, and then here I've got the little remote, so I can turn it on and off here, and yeah, you can just hear this little click as it goes on, and that's it. Alright, we're back on the Salon project. So I've marked everything on the floor here. I've got all the wood pieces here. I measured everything as precise as I could and got a guy at a plywood supplier. I got him to cut everything. But obviously the boat's not completely square in any way. Like no boat is, I guess, because they're sort of handmade. Yeah, as you see here, I've had to like sort of cut this edge up a bit where it goes up a bit on the corners. And then you can see this one here, had to cut all this off because this one goes here in the corner. Okay, I'm mocking up this for gluing tomorrow. We don't need that on there yet. But I've drilled and screwed these 2. This is going to be the first bench. And yeah, tomorrow I'll obviously just take those back out again and glue everything and screw them in so they're tight. And then I'll put fillets up in all the corners, and then fiberglass that afterwards. Okay, I've got my it's basically 2 modules that I've made. I've got them sort of screwed together and mocked up. Now I'm going to take them all apart again, move them out, clean all this area down with acetone, make sure it's all clean, and then mix up some epoxy with some microballoons, make a bit of a paste, and just start gluing them in. Alright, I'm about to mix up some epoxy, and now I'm going to tab them in with this chop strand. Doesn't need much, it's already super solid, but just in case we get slaps from underneath from waves, I want to put this chop strand on all the fillets just to reinforce it, sort of. So yeah, I'll just go through and wet these out and then slap them in. Very good. We got this one. Very good. Alright, that's the first one in. I'll just wet it out a bit more. What am I doing here? I'm making the cutting out circles for, I just picked up this pedestal in town, found it second hand off a van guy, and it's a pretty cool one. It's gas powered and it's strong, but I'm going to basically cut out two circles on wood, this big one and then a smaller one half that size, and glue them together, and then glue them to the floor, and then screw this to them because I don't want to put any holes in the floor. So that'll be the pad for this. And then the table is going to screw on the top of this, and will be awesome.
Another one?
Another one? Alright, let's see how this is going to get. Christmas cake.
That's what you do, Christmas cakes.
Yep. Like that.
Very cool.
Beautiful. I borrowed a router off John, a lovely patron here in Manly, and I'll sand it and then do a router edge around that so it's nice and round. Alright, so what I've done now, I've screwed these two together, I've routed them all, sanded them all, screwed them together so I know where they are, and I put this on the top and marked out where that's going to go, and then marked these holes for this. And now I'm drilling through, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to countersink them so they're sticking out a bit more obviously, and then epoxy that to the floor, and then this will just have the bolts. I'll just put bolts on the top. Now what I'm doing with these to countersink them is just drilling out a hole. DIY. And I don't have a chisel, so I'm just using a screwdriver. But I think it's going to work. Make sure they're level. I've got these round top bolts because this is going to be where people's feet are, obviously, so I'll make sure that that's nice. Alright, well that's basically how it's going to be. Now I'm getting ready to bond this table to the boat. As you can see, I've bolted it all together here and screwed it to the table. So now I'm going to glue this to the floor of the cat. So I've thickened some epoxy and just going to smear this with epoxy. These will obviously be permanent after that, but that's okay because I can always unbolt it from the top. And then I'm going to chuck it in there. I want to get it good and thick just because the floor is not completely flat everywhere. So that's why I've used this thickened epoxy, just so it fills up any little gaps and just gives it a bit more chance to bond properly. Oh, it's running quickly, gotta go quickly. Oh, fuck, go down. Okay, that's in place. Now I'm putting these two 20-litre containers on top to just to put some weight on it. What are you doing, babe?
I am preparing to do the covering of the wood for the new saloon. So we decided for the wood parts to use stain. Because even if it's not the more noble wood, there's nice lines, and we were thinking it would be quite nice with the stain. So I am masking. I already sent the little bit of epoxy we were already on the wood to put everything smooth. And I already mixed and tested the stain to have an idea of the color. I quite like it, and I'm gonna start to apply the stain in 5 minutes.
Right, before we finish this video off, I just want to say thanks very much to Cronulla Sailing Club, and in particular Pil, for just helping us out so much. Like being able to be here in Cronulla and get all this work done and have this mooring buoy right beside land basically, and being able to ship all of our stuff that sponsors have sent, and new mattresses and all this stuff straight to Pil's work and all that. It's just made our lives really, really easy, and this whole refit basically couldn't have gone better. Like we've got all the work done that we planned and more really, and trains right there, just been able to do everything really, really minimally, and every time I've needed something there's always been someone to help us out. Andre has obviously helped us out, we've mentioned him before, thanks again. So just wanted to say that we're water-based, and people who are land-based, it's just different. We don't have a car, things like that. So when people step up and offer their help, it means a lot to us, and it just means we can get so much more done with so much less effort. So thanks very much, guys. Massive, massive shout-out to Pil once again. Awesome.
So the saloon is basically finished. We stained the wood. We need probably to do a little coat again, but it's almost finished. We are quite happy of the results. We recycled the cushion we had on the other chairs before, because they were perfectly fitting, which is quite a chance. And we're gonna probably redo them with a bit bigger foam and a more beautiful fabric. But because Indonesia have so good fabrics over there, and it's probably cheaper over there, it can wait for the moment. It's good like this. But it's changing everything. It's so good to be able to have a proper dinner, breakfast, lunch with a proper table, even for working. So I think it was the last big job on the boat. And I think after that then I'm gonna pretty much sailing all the time, and you're gonna be back to watching ocean and adventures on the ocean. But it's gonna definitely change everything, and even for sailing overnight, like being able to have a proper place to relax, it's really amazing. this is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed and that was interesting to see how we made our saloon. Thank you very much for all of you who are taking of your time to watching our jobs and our adventures, and a special thanks for all the Patreons who are behind us and giving some tipping money for helping us to creating all this content for you. And yeah, I think it's my last week. Maybe I'm gonna be a little bit in another video to say goodbye, but that's my last day in Australia, so I'm gonna give some info when I'm gonna be in France, but I'm gonna be not on the boat for quite a while. Anyway, you're gonna enjoy to have Vernon and probably some other people on the boat and some different views and adventures. Bye bye!